archery, and it is a day that you're going to do a lot of listening and not a lot of moving. You're going to have to stop Taft. Why don't you move to the back line since you can't handle that spot. Okay. All right, so you're going to have to do a lot of listening and a little bit of less moving than normal, a lot less moving than normal. But everything I teach you today, you're going to use in your archery progression throughout the next 2 weeks. Okay, here's a quick overview. We are going to learn today about the bow, the arrow. We're going to learn terms that are on the bow and about the arrow. You're going to learn about target, and then you're going to learn how to move safely through the archery range. Okay? Now, that's going to take some time. And at the end of class, you're going to have a little test. It's an archery range safety test. If you can pass that, then you'll be allowed to shoot next time we have class, which will be Thursday. You will not be shooting today. There's a lot of information I got to give you first, and I got to see that you can follow directions well before you are allowed to shoot. Okay? Now, this equipment that we have was purchased through a grant through several different organizations. Missouri Department of Conservation was one of them, as well as some other organizations, a couple hunting organizations. They felt like archery education was very important for you, and Coach Broadhurst, Coach Davis, and I felt the same. So we partnered with them to purchase this equipment. Now, this equipment is expensive. Now, I don't have everything out today, just a few things for demonstration purposes today. We have several racks of bows, 5 or 6 targets, a net that's a safety net. All of the equipment, arrows, range over $2,000 worth of equipment, so it's expensive. So I expect you to treat it as if it's that expensive. Okay? This equipment is a privilege for you to use. It's not a right. It's something that you don't have to do. I am grading you on it next week, so you need to make sure that you're paying attention and doing your best work. However, if you can't follow directions, if you can't move through the archery range the way that I show you, if you cannot follow the 11 steps that I go with you today safely, then you will lose shooting privileges, and that will affect your grade. Because it is part of our unit. However, it's something that you do not have to do. You can lose shooting privileges just like anything else that we do in PE. So I tell you that because I want you to be 100% focused on what's going on, because I want you to be safe. This is a very fun activity if you're safe. How many of you have shot a bow before? Okay, how many enjoyed it, thought it was fun? Okay, good. It is a pretty fun activity, and I think you'll enjoy it. If you've never done it before, I think you'll find some fun in it. If you have done it before and you didn't like it, hopefully I'll teach you some things that'll make it a little more fun for you. Okay? So we're going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is talk to you about some of the equipment. The target that we'll be shooting at. All those rings and colors mean something. You'll learn about those and how to score your shooting as we shoot. We will not talk about that today, but we will learn how to pull arrows safely. This row of combs right here is on the shooting line. I'll talk about the shooting line shortly, but that's where we shoot our bow. That's where we release our arrows. These combs up here are called quivers. A quiver is something that holds arrows. Now, some of you probably have seen some movies where they wear quivers on their back. They pull their arrow out. We're using ground quivers, so they go right in there like that. Okay? The bows and the arrows is what I'm going to talk about first. This is an arrow. If you notice, this is the point or the tip of the arrow. It's not sharp, but it is pointy. You see that? All right. And at high speeds, it could be dangerous because arrows are shot at high speeds. So it's always important that our tip of our arrow always points downrange. Downrange is towards the targets. That's the safe zone. Okay? That's the safe zone as far as where our arrow should be pointing, because that's where we're shooting arrows, that direction. Okay? No people should be down there. So that's why we always point it downrange. Okay? This is called the shaft of the arrow, and attached to the shaft we have feathers or fletchings. These are plastic. And 2 of them are the same color. 1 of them is a different color. It doesn't match. That's an important thing to know, and I'll tell you why shortly. But you need to know that this is called the odd color fletching, the one that's not the same as the other 2. And this one, this little thing here is called the knock. Okay, that's where we stick it onto the arrow, or I'm sorry, to the bowstring. All right, so let's talk about the bow right now. This is a bow, it's a compound bow. It's made up of cams and pulleys and bowstring, also some limbs. Okay, here's how you know whether you're holding it correctly. The circle cam is at the top. The one down here that kind of looks like a kidney bean goes at the bottom. It's the larger one. When I pull the string, notice that the cams move. Okay, the pulleys move. That makes it move smoother, and it gives me a chance to pull my string back so I can release the arrow. Okay, so that's how a bow works. The tension is in the limbs. Okay, in the limbs. These are called the limbs, kind of like arms. They're limbs. All right, that's where the tension is. And I can change the tension on the bows, which I've done. I'll talk about those in a second. But the higher the tension, what do you think? Arrow's going to go faster or slower? Faster or further, yes. The lower the tension, the arrow's not going to come out quite as fast, quite as far. However, less tension means easier to pull back. More tension means harder to pull back. So there's a give and take there. And you need to know this because some of you are stronger than others. And you'll need to know which bows to use. You can, when you first day to shoot, you'll just pick one and take a guess. But then, through your experience of shooting, you'll know if I should go on a higher tension bow or a lower tension bow. Okay? The draw weight is what it's called. How many pounds it takes to pull it back. I've got a list here of the bow colors and how much weight each one is. The black bow, I'm just going to tell you in simple terms. The black bow is the hardest to pull back. It's going to shoot the arrow the fastest. The red bow is the next step down. Okay? Then we have the blue bow is the middle range. That one and the green. I did not bring the green out today. And then the purple bow is going to be the easiest to pull back. Okay? So you just have to choose what's going to be best for you. The yellow bows are left-handed bows. How many left-handers do I have? None. Okay, so we won't even use the left-handed bows. You will today, just for demonstration purposes. But the yellow is lefty. Stay away from that if you're right-handed. I can change the tension of those for those lefties in the other classes as we go through. But you need to know that because you'll need to pick the bow that's correct for you in order to make you a better archer. Okay? All right, so I said cams, limbs. This is our bowstring. On the bowstring, we have this little thread here on there is called the serving. We clip our arrow nock. Remember, our arrow nock is the tip of our arrow right here, not the tip, but the back part. Onto the serving, right below this little white thing, which is called the nock point. Okay? We actually clip it to the serving below the nock point. Now, on some of the bows, they're black, because I have to retie them. So notice this one's loose, so I'll have to retie that one too. But that little spot there is where you clip the arrow, right below it. Right here is the arrow rest. What do you think the arrow's going to do on that? Rest. It's going to sit there. Okay? When I pull it back, it's going to keep that arrow on my bow. Okay? And the last thing you need to know is this right here is the grip or the handle. When you grab the bow or hold it in your hand, you're actually holding it in something called your lifeline. Ty, you going to be okay? Everybody put your hand up like this. Now take your thumb and rotate it in and out. See that little spot right there when you rotate it in and out? It's like a little groove there. That's where the handle's going to fit into your palm of your hand. Right there. Okay? So we got the grip, the arrow rest, the limbs, the string, the arrow point, or I'm sorry, the nock point, the serving, and we've got the cams. All important stuff. Are you going to be tested on it? No. But I will refer to it, and in order for you to be a better archer, you need to make sure that you know those things so that when I am talking about it, you can make the adjustments. Okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's going to be hard for you to fix what I'm talking about. Okay? You will be tested on the next thing we talk about, which is the 11 steps of archery success. The people that designed this program found that these 11